Good afternoon. This is Greg with the Dapper Man, coming to you from a sunny afternoon in western Colorado. I want to talk to you today about how do you relax? What do you do to unwind at the end of the day? You work hard. What do you do to play hard or play soft? Whatever you want to do. However you do it. Today I'll be smoking a Rossi pipe. It's one of my favorites. I got it a couple years ago. I've been enjoying a pipe, and this is Colorado, so I do need to specify tobacco pipe. For a couple years now, I will actually be smoking Dunhill. What is it? Dunhill Flake. Let me go ahead and put that up there for you. It's a good classic blend. I like it. Dunhill's one of my favorite brands. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'll go ahead and read you, if there's a tin note on the back, I'll read it to you here in just a minute. Let me just actually pack the pipe here. Probably should have done that before I started the video. This is a flake tobacco, for those of you that don't know. Let me just pull some out. Looks kind of like that. You just go ahead and you can either rub it out, so break it up, or if you're like me, you just kind of fold it in thirds and stuff it in there. So, 1 second here. You don't want to stuff too much in there. It's just trial and error. You find out how much your pipe can hold. I'll do another video sometime on actually how to pack your pipe. And all that other fun stuff, pipe, smoking accessories, packing your pipe, smoking a pipe. Go ahead and put that in. Do a little test draw. Okay. Let me just close this up. No. All it really says on here is made to Dunhill's unique standards of perfection, internationally renowned since 1907. So there you go, 1907. For those of you that don't know anything about pipes, you have a couple different types of tools you need. You need, of course, the pipe, the tobacco. You need some sort of tamper, or this is called the check tool. Has your little scoop, your tamper here, and then kind of a poker in case you need it. Then you just need some fire. So there are three kind of lights. You have the initial light, then you tamp it down. You have a secondary light, tamp it down, and then you have your third light, which usually after your third light, then you're usually pretty good. But before I light up real quick, I've been smoking a pipe, like I said, for a couple years. A buddy of mine introduced me into cigars actually about a decade ago now. I used to go over to his place after work. We would have a beer and cigar. Eventually that turned into pipes and cigars, or pipes and cigars. I love the ritual behind a pipe. Cigars are my favorite form of tobacco, just because they're easy to carry, they're easy to hold. All you need is a lighter, maybe a cutter, and then you're all set. With the pipe, there's more work, there is more involved in the whole process, which is one of the reasons I like it. And yeah, to this day, I still like ending my day after work. Even when I travel for work, I will go ahead and end my day whenever I can with either a pipe or a cigar. I don't do a lot of alcohol. I rarely will have a scotch with them. I do like scotch, but it's very, very rarely. I can buy a bottle of scotch. It'll last 6 months. But I'll go ahead and do reviews on some scotch later on. Let me go ahead and light this up, and I'll get right back with you all. That was what they call the charring light. Just tamp it back down. Excuse me. There's your second light. Again, tamp it back down. Now, one thing about a pipe is you can set it down for a while, then come back to it. In that case, you will have to do you will have to relight it. You may not have to relight it 3 times, but you have to do it at least once. And vinyl light. There we go. So, again, talking about how do you unwind, how do you relax. For me, unwinding and relaxing at the end of the day is a pipe or a cigar. Like I said, cigars are what I prefer usually, especially when I travel. But I love the ritual. That was the word I was looking for. The ritual of the pipe. You got to pack it. You got to light it. It forces you to slow down, think. It's just a fantastic way to relax at the end of the day. In fact, if you go back to the 50s and 60s, there are actual scientific studies, and I'll see if I can find them online and see if I'll put the links in the description, that said pipe smoke compared to cigarette and cigar actually help you live longer because it helps lower your blood pressure. Now, I'm sure that's a controversial statement these days, because smoking is inherently bad for almost everybody. But the thing about cigars, and especially pipes, is you don't inhale like you would a cigarette or with a hookah. So you just draw the smoke into your mouth and then you can exhale. So a lot of the badness, a lot of the stuff that would cause you to have problems doesn't get absorbed into your body. Plus, cigar and the pipe tobacco doesn't have all that extra junk in it like cigarettes does. Other ways that I like to relax at the end of the day, especially when I'm doing a cigar or a pipe, I'll just put on some music. There are hundreds, probably, or at least dozens, of different apps for music. You have Pandora, Spotify, you have Sirius and XM Radio. You have Apple product services for their music. Probably just Apple Music. Amazon Music is what I normally use since I have Amazon Prime. I get that for free. Depending on my mood, I put on some jazz. I love Coltrane. I love country music from early 2000s. Not a big R&B fan, not a big rap fan. I'll listen to it, but for me, it's usually jazz, classical. Every now and then I'll put on some big band. My girlfriend makes fun of me because I like the big band music from the 50s and 60s and 40s. Stuff like can't think of his name now. The Rat Pack, Fly Me to the Moon, stuff like that. Oop, looks like this one out. Let me try it. So, it's very important to be able to unwind at the end of the day. If you don't, unfortunately, it's been proven that if just stress builds up if you don't get to unwind, if you don't have something to take your mind off of work or your mind off of home or whatever, stress builds, and it builds and builds and builds, and eventually you snap. That point is different for everybody. Before that, though, your performance in your job or your at home or whatever deteriorates. Your health can deteriorate as well. So it's very important to have an outlet. I know some people come home from work and will play video games. I know I have guys friends at work that travel with their PS4 and will play Destiny or something else to just relieve the stress at the end of the day. I know some people drink. I know they have liquid dinners. Again, never been a big fan of that. But if that's what you do, that's what you do. I mean, if that helps you relax, then go for it. Just don't drive. Yeah, so just tell me, how do you relax? Be interested to hear and see what you do. One thing I'll do, I actually do enjoy, is reading the paper. I know it's old-fashioned, but I know there are, again, dozens if not hundreds of websites you can get your news from every day. You can get stuff directly from Twitter, Facebook, whatever. But something about the tactile feel and the smell of the paper just really, really helps me relax. Just sit back in the chair with a cup of coffee or tea. It can be decaf, depending on the time of day. And just sit there, relax, and read the paper. You don't have to read everything, obviously. I don't. But just the important stuff. I'll read the headlines, first couple paragraphs. Helps keep me connected. If I don't read the paper, I definitely try to spend a little bit of time every day, just reading in general. All sorts of nonfiction books, self-help books. Also read a lot of fiction, sci-fi, fantasy stuff. Some of my favorite authors are, of course, I love the Harry Potter series. I'm a geek, nerd. Want to get that out right now if you haven't noticed. But also I enjoy Terry Goodkind, his Sort of Truth series. Laurel K. Hamilton and her Anita Blake series are pretty good. Listen to a lot of podcasts, history podcasts. English history, Roman history, stuff like that. The names confuse the hell out of me. I'll tell you that right now. I can never keep the names straight, but listening to some of those stories is fantastic. Murder mystery stuff. A couple murder mystery podcasts. Didn't listen to Serial, but there are a couple others that my girlfriend and I listen to. So it's just a fun way to relax before bed. I work right now. I travel for work. I'm not actually traveling, but my project is on the East Coast, so I keep East Coast hours. So I'm up between 4 and 5 every morning. Listen to a couple news podcasts. Here's a word for you. Sometimes I go lunting. There's a word. Lunting. Lunting. That means walking while smoking a pipe. If I do that, I'll do like early morning from Dunhill or Seattle Pipe Club or Hearth and Home Daybreak. I'll go ahead and do a review on those tobaccos at some other time. But tell me, how do you relax? What do you do? You work hard? How do you play hard? Or how do you just unwind at the end of the day? I would love to hear what you do, how you do it. Yeah. If you like this video, I ask you to subscribe. Definitely make comments. If you don't like the video, definitely make comments. What did I do wrong? Always like the feedback. Always enjoy constructive criticism. But subscribe to the channel. This will be on the YouTube channel for the Dapper Man. I'll also post it to Facebook for the Dapper Man US and on thedapperman.org. Feel free to leave comments, subscribe, like, send me an email, whatever you need to do, and we will talk to you soon. So I hope you have a fantastic afternoon. Bye.